Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. So when you're getting married, there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of things to consider. You have to have somebody to officiate the ceremony. Then the ceremony itself and how it's all going to go, the wedding and planning all that, and certainly the honeymoon. That's all part of it, especially if it's even a destination wedding. Lots going on there. Imagine if somebody could help you with that. I mean, help you with all of that. I found her, and she joins us today. She is a wedding officiant, travel specialist, and she's also a best-selling author. She is Christa Andrews, and she joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
Hi, Steve. How are you today?
Really good. This is something that you've been doing for a long time, right?
Yeah, actually, I've been doing this about 7 years. Prior to this, I was in the medical field. I was CAT scan tech. I left that job when my mom got sick. And during that time, my niece had asked me to officiate her wedding. I officiated that wedding, and it just kind of snowballed from there. People in the audience were like, "You made me laugh. You made me cry. Can you help? Can you perform my wedding?" So that's pretty much how my business started, was first officiating my family's wedding. And then, I started doing more and more weddings and word of mouth and all of that. And I quickly realized that people were also going on honeymoons. So I had to become a travel agent to support my couples further, not just, on the big day, but I also wanted to support them in writing the next chapter in their story, which every vacation does have a story. So, and I love writing. So that's how I got into doing the books as well. So
I think what you're doing, your timing is impeccable, because travel agents, as they used to be called, I don't even know what it is, travel professionals, advisors, it's all coming back. And it doesn't cost you a lot more to have somebody give you the information, the insight, be available there for you. Things happen, things come up. How great to send a text and have somebody else take care of it so you can enjoy the rest of your vacation and or honeymoon. I will tell you this. I remember back in the day, way back in the day, I used a travel agent. She made such a mark on my life and my travel. Not that I traveled a lot, but I'm talking, honeymoons, vacations, things like that. I remember her name. I haven't seen her in half my life. Ray Haggist. I don't even know where she is. I remember where her office was, but that's how important it was. And now with everything so impersonal, booking things online, it's almost like you say a prayer. I hope I got that right. Hope you never know. So
right.
It's wonderful that you're doing this, but especially combining it with the performing of the ceremony. So let's start there.
Okay.
The vows. Super important. I know a lot of couples struggle with that. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to write it. You can go online and find, templates or pieces of it. But what's your recommendation to help couples with that?
So vows are very personal. Some people I find don't even want to say their vows in front of an audience. So a lot of times I can help the couple craft a beautiful scripture that they either say to their partner in private, or they write it down on paper, they open it in private, because there is a lot of special things that go into what you want to say to your loved one when you're getting married. And some people are totally fine with just saying it in front of everybody. But I do find it is special when you can kind of get in that space, write all your thoughts down, and then either say it quietly or privately to your loved one rather than the whole big audience. I feel like that's the most special thing that you can do.
What about the trends? So we all know a lot of times I now pronounce you man and wife or husband and wife. That's changed a little bit, right?
Yeah, because it's not all husbands and wives getting married. It's wives and wives and husbands and husbands. So and at the end, I now pronounce you happily married.
Honestly, that sounds better. It sounds,
Yeah.
it's positive, happily married.
Yeah. Yeah. Another big trend that wedding officiants have to keep in mind once you make that pronouncement, step out of the way so the photographer can get that first kiss with just the couple in that photo and not the wedding officiant standing with their head like in the middle of that kiss and ruining that moment. Because
Point.
it is all about the couple.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you got, that's a big responsibility you have, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm very transparent. I am ordained to marry people.
Yeah.
It started as a radio bit, and we did a thing called Drive Through I Love You. And it was at a fast food restaurant. You drive through. I perform the ceremony. Could be for new couples. It could be vow renewal, and the back end was you went on vacation. So that started it, but then people started asking me to do their weddings, and I did a few, and it was all good. It's not what I want to do. I am not an officiant. I'm going to say first and foremost, it was a lot of stress. Like I would stress out over it. I'm being very serious. It's not for everybody.
It is a lot of responsibility because you have to get it right, and you only have that one chance to get it right. So a lot of times I do advise the couples to book me for their rehearsal as well, because we can work all the kinks out the night before or the day before, what have you. Because there's a lot of questions that go into it. So if we can do a rehearsal, it's always best just to get all those kinks out the day before rather than the day of.
Have you officiated any different, unusual theme type weddings?
Yeah, I have.
Or even weird location, different.
Yeah,
different
nursing homes. I've done them in nursing homes.
Oh, wow.
I've done them in other countries. So I can go in destination and book all your travel. If you need me to go and be your officiant and your travel agent all in one, I can go to the destination and perform it at the location.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. And in my former life, I got married on a beach.
Yep.
And just reached out to the locals there. There was good and bad involved in that.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who these people are.
Right.
You're assuming that it's going to be okay. The photos, and just give me an example why you want to be sure, dealing with another country, you don't know what you're getting.
And language barriers as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Cultures and all of that. Let's just say when they took the pictures, and digital was definitely a thing, they took them with film, and there was like scratches, dirt, and stuff on the negatives.
Oh no!
And that it is what it is. It was already done. So if you're going to do a destination wedding, you might want to bring somebody like yourself there. But the bonus to that is you plan it in terms of the travel, which I want to get to in a second. Still looking at the ceremony itself. Any advice for somebody planning the ceremony, candle lighting, any of those things that go along with it?
Well, lighting, a very big thing. You also, if you're doing it outside, you want to be cautious of when the sun sets because, things can happen with that. So yeah, pretty much, lighting is a big one. Doing that rehearsal, it can make all the difference in the world. So everything on the day goes smoothly.
What about kids? Including kids in the ceremony. Any thoughts, suggestions on that?
Love that. A lot of times when we incorporate kids, we'll do a sand ceremony. So each person, there's a big vase and each person has a color sand and they pour the color of their sand into the vase. And it's like combining the family as one, which is a really beautiful ceremony incorporating kids.
What a cool idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like one of those sand sculpture-y kind of things that you see it at like carnivals and fairs where you pay to put the sand in. And then it kind of like looks like that as it goes up. Wow, what a cool idea.
And then it's a keepsake for them forever, which is really nice too to remind them of that special day.
I was at a wedding outdoors. This was October, and there were children involved. It was a second marriage,
Hmm.
and you never know how it's going to go. And the little girl didn't exactly do what she was supposed to, but she just like ran down the aisle,
Yeah.
and she just let out some shriek or something.
Yep.
It was adorable. It was
Yeah.
totally fine.
I love having kids part of the wedding, and I always tell them like, we'll practice and all, but the day of, whatever happens, happens. It's gonna just be perfect. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to all be, played out like in a storybook.
Thanks for saying that, because
Yeah.
it's no matter what happens, it's still special.
Yes.
It's still special.
And that's even more memorable when things don't go right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Expect the unexpected. That's
Yeah.
probably the best way to roll on that. So on the
Yeah.
travel side of what you
Mhm.
do, you can book a honeymoon for anybody pretty much anywhere.
Anybody, anywhere. I can do a honeymoon. I can do an anniversary trip.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can do family vacations. I've actually performed a wedding for a couple and then sent them on their honeymoon, and then they started having a family and then plan their Disney trip. So I love being involved in my couples, like not just marrying them and that's the end of it. I like the long-term relationship, watching them, have children, get a dog, buy a house. Like I love like seeing all that unfold. And
Hmm.
incorporating travel has helped me be able to, further that relationship rather than just marrying them and that's that for the day.
Have you? I'm going to get back to travel in a second, but things pop in my
Yeah.
head, and I just want to just jump into them. What if you go to a country, but they don't legalize your wedding there? Can you do a mock or symbolic kind of
Yeah.
ceremony?
Yep. A lot of times couples will opt to do the legal portion of it here prior to going in destination. So I can help them with that as well. I can do the legal portion here. Then they fly to their destination and then they do what's called a symbolic ceremony. Nobody even knows that it's, symbolic. It looks exactly the same way as it would. But just the legal portion of it, it's just easier for the couples, especially when filing, their marriage license and everything. It's just easier to have it in the country that you live in rather than another country. So
Has
I
it?
often do suggest doing the legal portion first and then doing symbolic there.
Have you been in a situation where a couple was already secretly married and nobody really knew that for whatever the reason is? It doesn't even really matter. But then you had to just make it look like it was the actual ceremony.
Absolutely. I've done that a few times. Yes.
Hmm. Like,
Uh,
let's say they ran to the justice of the peace or whatever and just, got it done just because they wanted to. But then it's like, all right, everybody wants a ceremony. So you have to have a ceremony, but nobody really knows.
yeah. And
That
a
was,
lot of that actually happened during COVID where
ah,
couples were just like, they had planned their wedding, but then it got canceled because of COVID. So they just went, we just want to be married. So they would just secretly get married. And when they were able to have their wedding, they didn't want anybody to know that they were already married. So
wow. Hmm.
those are all worked out though.
The secret is ours. It stays right here.
Yes.
Hot destinations right now. Tropical, Caribbean. I don't think they'll ever go away, and
No.
all my favorites anyway. But what? Anything trending where couples are asking more for this than that?
Yeah, I do a lot of like Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Cancun. I do a lot of those, but surprisingly, Italy is like a hot destination where couples are wanting to go, whether it's, some are wanting to do destination weddings in Italy, but also their honeymoons. I'm seeing a lot of Italy and a lot of Greece for honeymoons recently.
Interesting. Why do you think that
Yeah.
is?
I don't really know, to be truthful.
Hmm.
I don't know, but
Maybe,
Italy's always been, everyone wants to go to Italy. So,
maybe it's the bucket list, and we all wait for the bucket list, and now it's
yeah,
like let's put it at the front of the
right.
the life together. Let's do that now.
Yeah.
as opposed to let's wait till we're retired, and the kids are out,
Right. Yeah. It's so much fun, like helping couples pick out where they want to go on their honeymoon. It's like super rewarding, and I'll give them this option, and it's almost like I can't wait to our next meeting so we can kind of be like, all right, I knew you were going to pick that one.
Love it. Do you feel like it's like you're reliving it all over again yourself personally when you work with couples?
I love it. Officiating the wedding, I feel like I get a front row seat to love every single time. And it just reminds me how important marriage actually really is. So I love that aspect of it. I just think that's like so beautiful, and having that front row seat every single time. And it's always a happy day. And it's wonderful. I love doing it.
Have you ever cried during a ceremony?
I try not to. I do get a little choked up, and people will come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you did so good. Like I probably would have broke down and cried, but I get some of that emotion in my voice, which I think is authentic. But no, I don't break down and cry. But I feel all the love and all the joys of it.
Do you also feel that when you're helping them book their honeymoon or even a destination wedding, that it's almost as if you're sort of like vicariously living through them as you book each next one, the next one, the next one?
Yeah, it's super interesting. And then it gets me thinking like, oh, I've actually never been there. Like, I think I want to add that to my travel list. I travel a lot, but there's no way you can go to every single destination that you plan for somebody else. So it's like, getting the wheels going and being like, yes, let's try that place next time. So it gives myself and my husband ideas of what we want to do for our next travel too. So it's fun.
And we're talking about honeymoons and destination weddings, but you can book travel for anyone. You don't have to be getting married, right?
Yeah, they don't have to be getting married. Nope. Nope. I can do it for anyone.
All right. Quick questions on
you
the
want to go
front.
anywhere?
Me? I am so overdue to go away. Yes.
Okay. All right.
As
I can help you with that.
Here in New York, as we say, we'll talk because it's. I had some things come up, so I was like, I was going to go away, press pause. Because we're going to go away, press pause. Now it's been months later. As a matter of fact, I wish I knew you because I have a very close friend who just went to Italy.
Oh, yeah.
And booked it with, I don't know, maybe 6 days notice. It was just,
oh, wow.
I'm getting out of here. And, I was trying to put her in touch with people I might know. And it all worked out. But they don't know like you know.
Yeah. Italy. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't know as just an ordinary consumer of traveling. Like there's travel insurance that you should purchase, checking in with the airlines. There's just so many things that go into it. And there's always so many questions. And the travel agents do this all day, every day. So we're at the forefront of knowledge when booking trips.
Let's talk about real quick passports, because it wasn't long ago, even in the last year, where the time to get a passport was still very long, even though we're way out of COVID. Any insight on that?
For a while they were going out like 16 weeks. Right now I'm seeing 4 to 6, so it's getting better as far as the turnaround time for passports. Yeah.
It's just, I guess, plan ahead, because if you're going to expedite it, whether you're checking off the box for, the government to expedite it or using an expediter, it's going to cost you money.
Right.
It's going to cost you money.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Caribbean. Let's go back there.
All right.
I want to go back there, actually.
Oh, me too. Every day.
I don't know what it is. Palm trees, tropical.
Yep.
It just doesn't get old for me.
Me either. I'm a beach girl. I love my feet in the sand. I love the sun shining on my face. Just love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, the culture, all of that.
Yeah.
And every island, even though some may say, well, it's kind of all the same, it's palm trees and in the Caribbean. No, everyone has got different nuances. What do you think right now you would say is the top 3 Caribbean destinations for the best value overall?
Best value definitely has to be Punta Cana. It just prices nice. Flights from, JFK or Boston, you can a lot of times just get direct,
Yep.
which is wonderful. And then the price is just really, really good too.
My friend's there now. I was going to go there. That's where I was going to go when things came up. I'll make this really short because I think it's really cool. He sold his house, and now he's a digital nomad. He does digital work.
Oh, cool.
And he goes wherever he wants. So he gets an Airbnb. He went there, not to Punta Cana, another part of the DR, back in like December. It was okay, but it wasn't where he wanted to be. He went back to Florida just because he's got friends there. I need a place to stay. And then he Airbnb'd back there. He's there for 2 months and met a girl. And now, they kind of hit it off and, they hang. But he still does his work. And I was thinking of maybe going down there, whatever. But it's a really good value. So there, the DR, and where else would you say in the Caribbean?
Cancun. Well, Cancun's not the Caribbean, but Cancun price is nice. Where else? Jamaica. Price is really, really, really nice. I send a lot of couples there. It's affordable. It's, the food's good.
Yep.
It's the temperature's good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Checks all the boxes.
And it just depends on what you want. If you, listen, I got to have a waterfall. We're going to find it for you. Jamaica. If I need all inclusive, we got that. And there's a lot of great all inclusives in Jamaica too. Anything else that people should know as we head into the summer season when it comes to travel? Anything standing out there for you?
Definitely make sure that your passports have a 6-month validity before you travel. Because if they don't, you can be in trouble and not be able to go on your trip. So definitely check your passports.
Thank you for that. That's a key point. And I found that out last year and expedited my passport because of it. Yes, you need to have your expiration date needs to be 6 months out or you're not going anywhere.
Yep. And that's another thing people don't realize if they book trips on their own, where if you work with a travel agent, we know all these things and we're going to keep you informed on all of that. So.
100%. Well, you're staying up to date on all of it. Where I just want to go on vacation. I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to worry about all of that.
And then some countries you need visas and all that other stuff. And, those things that you might not realize that you need to do ahead of time before even planning that trip.
So you're physically located in Rhode Island.
I'm in Rhode Island.
But you can, again, perform a ceremony anywhere in the country or the world and book vacations or honeymoons for anybody, anywhere, regardless of whether they're getting married. What's the best way to find you, Christa?
My website, it's www.Christa, Christa, Andrews, ANDREWS.com. So ChristaAndrews.com.
Bravo to you for locking down a domain with your name.
Thank you.
Seriously, I'm going to guess and say you've had that for a while.
I've had it for a long while, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Good for you. Your energy is fantastic.
Thank you.
Really is.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the insight and great having you on here. And looking forward if we have a chance to get together again.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like that.
We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.